All right, so this is chapter 23 of Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. Christmas at Stagecoach Pass was actually pretty cool. My parents decided it was worth to hire a company to come in and decorate the park with lights and a big tree in the middle of Main Street. We pulled all the old Christmas decorations out of storage and placed them around the park. Things like wreaths made of horseshoes and cowboy boots filled with fake poinsettias. Dad made sure the company he hired strung lights over the covered wagon that marked the entrance. They also added the word Christmas after Stagecoach Pass so everyone would know something a little different was going on. I had the idea to set up a booth that sold hot cocoa and s'mores fixins, and we lit fires in a couple of the old metal garbage cans. I had never expected the Arizona nights to get so cold. The weather even dipped below freezing a couple times. I actually got to wear my earmuffs while I stood outside with Connor roasting marshmallows over the fire. Well, he roasted marshmallows for me. I didn't exactly need my toes freezing off. It's too bad Zion's gone for winter break, I said. Zion and his family were spending 2 weeks in New Zealand. They'd all gone all the way to the other side of the world to visit the movie sets from The Lord of the Rings. My dad had raised an eyebrow when I told him that and said, I've got to meet these people. Zion told me it's actually summer there right now, I said. How weird is that? Connor didn't answer as he looked around and barked nervously. The roasting stick he held over the fire shook a little. This place is busier than ever, he said and barked. The people roasting marshmallows across from us stared at him. Don't let it scare you off, I said. Connor looked offended. I won't. I mean, as long as it doesn't get too busy. I raised an eyebrow at him. What qualifies as too busy? Connor shrugged. Busier than this? Well, I hope that's not true because I would miss you. I'm sure it'll be dead again once Christmas is over, Connor said, which was obviously reassuring to him, but not to me. I didn't want the park to get dead again. Connor pulled a marshmallow off the stick and shoved it into my mouth. The thing is, then things can go back to normal. Don't want to go back to normal, I said, my mouth stuffed full of marshmallow. Huh? I swallowed. I don't want it to go back to normal. I want it to stay busy. You realize if the park closes down, my parents lose their jobs, and we probably have to move again. Connor frowned. Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. He stuffed another marshmallow in my mouth. Then I hope it stays busy, just as long as it doesn't get too busy. We invited Connor and his mom over for Christmas Eve. We held a little dinner in the steakhouse and invited all the employees who didn't have family to spend it with. Mom and Dad ordered 3 big turkeys. What can I do to help? I asked Josephine, who was ordering everyone around in the kitchen. They were busy making cornbread stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, and of course, cowboy beans, cornbread, and coleslaw, which I would most definitely not be eating. Coleslaw was ruined for me for life and would forevermore be known as Pitt's Law. Why does she say this? Who remembers? Who can tell? Josephine handed me a masher. Why don't you mash up them potatoes? She stuck the giant pot of potatoes on the floor for me, and I worked on handling the masher with my feet. Several of the employees stopped to watch, but Josephine told them all to skedaddle. Those will be the best mashed potatoes you ever put in your mouth, she snapped at anyone who raised an eyebrow at me mashing potatoes. At one point, Henry walked in and put his hands on his hip. Avon Kavanaugh, he scolded, what are you doing with your feet in the food? I don't think Josephine could have looked more shocked than if a tarantula the size of a horse had leapt through the door. You crazy old coot, she said to Henry. Don't you know her name by now? Get out of here and make yourself useful. She shooed him out of the room, and neither one of them returned. When I was done with the potatoes, I peeked my head through the swinging doors of the kitchen. I watched Connor and his mom sitting at the table together with my mom, talking and laughing. I knew this was the first time they had eaten in a restaurant together since Connor's tics had started, so I was glad to see Connor looking so comfortable, although he didn't eat much during dinner. As we all sat together at the table, I whispered to Connor, Henry just called me Avon Kavanaugh in the kitchen. He scrunched up his nose. Like you said, he gets really confused. I picked up my fork with my toes and stabbed a bit of turkey. I guess he does keep confusing me for someone else. But why would he think I was a Kavanaugh? Connor shrugged. Maybe you look like a Kavanaugh. I shoved a bite of turkey in my mouth and chewed as I thought about this. If only we could find that missing picture from the museum, I said. Maybe that would tell us something. We'll just have to keep searching in the storage shed. There's got to be something in all that junk. I nodded as I stabbed another chunk of turkey. I hope so. That evening, Mom and Dad gave me my Christmas present, a pair of turquoise and silver earrings they had purchased from the Navajo woman. I thought if I ever got that necklace cleaned up, maybe got a new chain for it, it would look nice with my new earrings. I also thought this Navajo woman should come and sell her new jewelry at Stagecoach Pass. Actually, I couldn't stop thinking of things we should do at the park. I had a lot of ideas. Later that night, I dragged Dad out to go tarantula hunting. I'd done this several times before. I had become obsessed with finding live tarantulas. He held the flashlight for me so I could sneak up on any holes I had found earlier in the day, thinking they might be tarantula burrows. But I never did find one, no matter how much I searched. I began to wonder if I ever would.